Good morning, gang. This is morning number 2 of kind of taking care of this amazing oak tree in my cousin's front yard. Had some interruptions from some local folks who know me as Crazy Cousin Joyce. Anyway, so what I chose to do this morning was focus on the upright growth inside what I'll call the brick planter for the oak tree. I left things like spider plants and what look like edge grass plants, anything that was growing upright, and I should have done this before, but I apologize, I got distracted. If you look at the videos from yesterday, you can see there were some of those kinds of bushes, and there were palmettos, and you can see where I've cut the vines back at about ground high. What you can't really see is I pulled up, I don't know how many vines, roots of vines that were running all over the ground here. And the idea is I want to make the tree happy. And the tree doesn't mind spider plants and low growing things, but it doesn't need a bunch of quote unquote parasitic vines growing up it. Yeah, when it's just one or two, a big old oak tree is going to be fine, but eventually, those vines can create a lot of weight. So I came through and pulled up a bunch of roots, and then in walking through, I've decided I'm just going to do a little bit sporadically. Let me try and explain. Those of you who are not from down south, this particular plant, let me see if I can hold it so you can see what I'm talking about. This particular plant is a Brazilian pepper. Those peppercorns will turn bright red. They are a multi-billion-dollar a year infestation. I remember as a child, some nursery down in the Sarasota area wanted to import it for, Christmas stuff. And so the state said, well, we need to make sure it's not invasive. So they hired the same nursery to do the study that wanted to do the importing. Well, needless to say, they found what they wanted to find, and now Brazilian pepper has destroyed I don't know how many thousands, if not millions of acres of local plants. They grow very fast. They're very invasive. The plants and the birds and the squirrels love the berries. The squirrels will eat the berries and then they get drunk, and then it's funny just to sit and watch the squirrels try and crawl around on a tree. It's amazing. But anyway, so what I'm going to do here is there's one of these here, which probably started as a result of a bird just dropping a seed, and then there's several around the back of the property. And now all of this growth, I cut all of this growth basically down to the ground, I think, about 3 years ago. And all of this was all cleared out. And as I come around the side of the house, yesterday afternoon, this bush was full of honeybees. And if you can see, I don't know if I can zoom in with the camera that will allow you to see the honeybees. There are honeybees flying, and they love the nectar. And it is a major food source for beekeepers in Florida nowadays because, well, all the citrus is leaving and everything else, so the only thing left are the invasives But there's a bee right there in the middle. So what I'm gonna do now is cut that. What my goal is to cut these branches as close to the ground as I can. So there's this one, and if you can see, I mean, it's that line over to the left is the roof of her house. Okay, and then there's another one here, and then that'll be the end of my yard work for the day. Yeah, I got started a little later. It is a little warmer. I did run into a couple of neighbors and got delayed a little bit. So I'm really happy with how the tree is looking. My goodness, this is growing all the way over to the property line just about. But I'm not going to be able to get to that. Probably we're going to be going down to another part of the state. And so I won't be here for much of the rest of my trip. But so I'm just going to come in. I mean, there are my tools. A pair of old nasty work gloves and a pair of ancient lopping shears. That's why they're still good, because they're so old. They made them with good steel. And we'll cut this Brazilian pepper, and then we'll go around the back and get those. So with that, gang, you can see where I pulled off the vines where it took some of the bark off of the tree. So I just cut the vine off at about 4 or 5 foot, and then quit pulling them off the tree because I didn't want to pull so much bark off that it might leave it slightly open to any kind of pest or infection or parasites. So with that, gang, isn't that a cool shot? Isn't that just the coolest thing? I just love live oaks. This tree doesn't have any Spanish moss in it, but that's really cool looking too. So with that, gang, I will wish you blessings for the day, and whatever you do, just keep chasing the dream.